All right, so I'm trying to like get out of my head and like just do this stuff. So today, gonna be jumping around on different things I want to cover and like talk about on this channel and like with you guys. Like last night, I talked about like waxing your face as a woman and being 31 years old and still dealing with acne. Today, I'm going to talk about multiple sclerosis. I was diagnosed 2 years ago. Today's the second, today actually, 2 years ago. Today is my 2 year anniversary, so yay for me. I haven't decided yet. They think I've had it for about like 10, 15 years. But I have other disabilities that I was born with. I was able to inherit from my father, so that kind of like mask everything. And plus, in my family, no matter what your issue is, you just work through it and you deal with it. And that's how it's supposed to be, I feel. And so I just did until I couldn't anymore. Anyways, today my challenge is finishing my bathroom. I just got out of bed at like 11:30. Luckily, I don't have kids right now. I have 3 fur babies, which you guys will see on my Instagram and everywhere. They're going to be popping up all over the place. You're probably going to hear them in a minute because I'm going to go outside. Oh, lemon seed. Anyways, one important thing though I want to talk about with MS is being more than just your disability, being the person that you want to be in the best way that you can, even if it's only 10 minutes at a time. And the reason why I say that is because for myself, I'm wandering around my house, which I'm doing construction, so if you see boards and not finished things everywhere, like I don't have cabinet doors right now, that's why. Anyways, and it's taking an extra long time because I can literally do things 10 minutes at a time. So, okay, so 2 years ago, 2 years and a month ago, I was working for a real estate company and I had a really great boss, thank goodness, and he was absolutely fantastic. But I started having symptoms where I felt high or drunk throughout the day with no reason to. I don't do drugs. I don't day drink. I don't drink anymore, but I don't day drink. But I felt really high and drunk, and I felt really sick, and nauseous, and I couldn't focus, and I couldn't do anything. I couldn't concentrate, and it was really aggravating. I had to go lay down frequently. Luckily, I worked at home because of my other issues I was having, and I couldn't work in an office anymore. And because the company I worked for, they were all in California, it worked out really well. So I told him like, hey, I'm having issues, so I'll be so taking care of all my hours and getting everything done. It'll just be kind of like on my time versus like company time. And he was totally fine with that, thank goodness. So, my husband started this job. He's a truck driver, and his insurance didn't start until August. And so I was having all these symptoms in July while moving to a 3rd-story condo, mind you, with no elevator. We didn't have insurance, and I knew our insurance was going to start August 1st, so I called my doctor, and who's been my family doctor, my parents' doctor for 20 plus years, and he took care of my dad with all of his stuff, and I'll get on my dad's topic another day. Anyways, so I went and saw him and told him my issues, and I couldn't use my left side. I couldn't even put my shoes in sandals or socks or shoes anymore, flip-flops no less. And then, I'm trying to think, I have really bad memory now, so those are the 2 main things. I remember I couldn't use my left side anymore, my leg, and my hands I had a lot of tremors going on. They would flail around all the time everywhere. I couldn't think, I couldn't remember anything. It got to the point where I had to record every conversation when it came to work or even personal life that I had to do something. And so I told my boss this too. I'm like, hey, I'm going to record all of our conversations because I have to. If I don't, I'm not going to remember anything, which actually saved my butt in a lot of different ways in general. But because my memory was getting so bad. There was no other way for me to remember anything, and it was really aggravating. But you have to just learn how to do whatever works for you to make it sure that you can function the best you can in your life, even if it's not the easiest way to do it. Anyways, so trying to think. Went to the doctor. They did the MRI that night, and then the next morning he called me. He's like, "You're going into a neurologist. He's like the best in Utah, and he specializes in MS." And so I got to see him the next day on the 3rd, which I was really lucky. I've heard these horror stories with MS people where, you know, it takes them forever to get diagnosed, and they get misdiagnosed, or they're not taken seriously. And I couldn't imagine, because I was so fortunate and blessed that my dad had disabilities and had a doctor who was really wonderful with our family. So I was really lucky that way. So because of that, I was able to get treated really quickly. They put me on a 5-day stem of Solumedrol, which, if you don't know what that is, it's this terrible, horrible, awful steroid that they do a daily infusion on, and it lasts usually about 2 to 3 hours, the infusion, and you just feel crappy. It breaks down in your entire system. You can't be around anybody because you can't catch anything, because your immune system's gone anyways, and then that just completely wipes your immune system out completely. And then anyways, it was just miserable. I did that for 5 days, and they did that to stop my MS symptoms, like right there. And then after 2 weeks, I got in for my first infusion of Tysabri. And Tysabri has saved my life. I know that if I didn't have it, I'd be in a wheelchair. And I don't know how my speech would be, because my speech really struggles as is. I work really hard. That's why I kind of over enunciate or I slur. I work really hard on like trying to keep words like audible so I can actually like speak clearly. Anyways, and me, like whenever I talk, it's like I literally have to focus and concentrate and make sure that I'm not just blah blah blah, because I will just blah 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 if it just is what it is. Anyways, so I started Tysabri. It's a monthly infusion. I still do it once a month, and I go in and I sit there. They poke me, they try to find a vein, and since the Solumedrol, I've had a couple of different relapses since then. And what that means is my symptoms will increase. My legs will flow around, or my left side will completely give out on me. I use a cane about once or twice a week. The last couple months it's been more frequent than that, but that's okay. I just consider that my chill days. Now, that's like the big, huge, dramatic, thing with MS is like the initial like diagnosis. Now, my day-to-day life is very aggravating, and I have a very patient husband, thank goodness. We dated when we were kids. We reunited as adults. We dated for 6 months, and we got married, which was awesome. Got married in Vegas, of all places, in a parking lot. That'll be a different conversation. Anyways, we got married in a parking lot, and we've had the most amazing marriage. We've been together as a couple for over 4 years now. We've been married for like over 3.5 years. So it's been really awesome. I have an amazing husband. He works really, really hard to take care of me and our 3 children, aka fur babies. Yes, I'm a dog mom. Don't judge. As I covered over in yesterday's video, I have PCOS. And with that, I can't have children. So, my dogs are my kids. Anyways, where was I at? Hold on. I have a lesion right here that's like throbbing. I have over 70 plus lesions or 100 plus lesions in my brain. One of these days I'll find the pictures and I'll have a video of it, and I'll show you guys like all the lesions, so you know what it looks like. It's an actual physical thing. So what a lesion is, people have them in their spine and their brain. I'm lucky I don't have anything in my spine, but because that usually guarantees that you're going to be in a wheelchair. But mine are so awesome that I'm still going to be in a wheelchair. I have a deadline. I have about 3 more years left. Yeah. I have about 3 years left of my legs, unless there's some kind of miracle, something that stops it or cures it, which I don't see it happening. And that's okay. I found a lot of really cool wheelchairs, and me and my husband have already blinged it out, and he's a truck driver, and when we buy his truck next year, we're going to customize it so we can wheel my wheelchair up in there and have like a thingy and go into it so I can go with him, and we're going to make it work. We're going to make it work, you know. And that's all you have to do is when you have something like, okay, this is crappy and it's hard, it's frustrating, but you can make it work, and it's okay to cry, and I'm trying not to. Because it's possible. You can make things work. You just have to decide to do it. And you have to decide to be positive. And you have to decide to try and look at the bright side. Now, because of my disability, I can't work anymore. And so I'm fortunate enough where I can be a stay-at-home wife and homemaker. And I don't just make brownies and like fluffy treats and foods, which I would love to just be able to do. I am remodeling our home, which was built in 1908, and taking care of my 3 dogs. And my husband, he comes home and he'll do the big stuff I can't do, but I do everything I can until I can't, which is quite a bit of it. Because he's working all day, all week, I don't expect him to come home and like do as much work as I'm doing. Like I said, he still does like the big stuff. Like if I literally physically I'm unable to do something, I have him do it, which is big stuff. Like I can't hang sheetrock, but I can mud the crap out of it. In fact, I'm doing that with my bathroom right now. This wall behind me, right here, and we don't have the trim done, as you can tell. That'll be a next month project or sooner, hopefully. This entire wall I did, you know. This whole room was all just this ugly wood, and I painted all over it. And I'll post pictures one of these days of my before and afters. When it's done, you know, I do a lot, but I do it 10 minutes at a time. Because I'm still mentally there. I'm still mentally here. I'm still me. My bipolar is so strong as hell. And with MS, you are more it, because it affects every aspect of your brain. You are more emotional and you're more temperamental, and you have all these different things you learn to deal with. And so I'm working really hard on when I get angry and pissed off, or like if I'm going too far with an argument, I stop and I apologize, even if it takes a minute. I try to stop and apologize and be like, okay, I'm sorry. Let me work on this. And I try to step away from the situation, because I understand the difference between like regular anger versus like bipolar, manic anger, or MS anger. And that to me is so important. For people to learn, I'm kind of getting sidetracked. People have a hard time taking control of their lives, and in the sense of people aren't taking the time to learn about themselves, and people aren't taking the time to acknowledge their behaviors and accepting their behaviors and learning how to work around it. Not saying it's easy. I have bipolar and I control it, but I also pay attention and manage it. I can tell when my manics are extreme. I can tell when my downs are here. And I have a rapid bipolar, so it's like, it's just all day, every day. And like, I haven't had an episode for a while. I've actually been pretty clear and like even. And I stay even if I stay busy. But understanding that me staying busy isn't the same as I used to stay busy. My used to stay busy was I was working like 80 to 100 hours a week. Now, I'm lucky if I get out of bed before 10. And it's not because I'm lazy and not because I don't want to. I desperately want to. It's just, it is what it is. I physically can't do it. I have really bad dizzy spells during the day, and I get nauseous really easy, and I get really bad migraines. And my legs like just to give out, and my arms like to give out, and I'll get tremors, and And then I have 3 dogs because I'm crazy and I love my dogs so. Like they are wonderful dogs. And when I'm having a moment of issues, like if I'm having issues, I'll go lay down and they come lay down with me and they chill, you know. And that's one thing I love about my dogs is when I'm really having a hard time, they know to stop. And not just a frustrated moment. It's like when I'm actually like physically like dying. It feels like I'm physically dying. They know just to stop and just to chill and just to like not be hyper, be active because they're not the most well trained dogs. You'll see. And I'm trying. I've been watching Solid Canine training and I love them so much. And so I'm going to start using the tool. I have the tools they use. I just need to start actually following through with them and being consistent. And anyways, if you guys have a dog and they're having issues, no matter what the breed is, go check out Solid Canine Training. They're amazing. Like, Jeff is awesome. His wife, Linda, is wonderful. His entire staff's amazing. If I could afford having my dogs go to him and then have him train me, that'd be the best. I would love to go to a seminar. We just can't afford it right now because we're remodeling our house to make it our home. Anyways, so a daily life for me, back to MS. A daily life for me is I wake up around between like 10 and I usually get out of bed at like 11:30. And I try to get up sooner. And I have a potty area for my dogs, so they like in my laundry room, so they can go potty when they need to. And then I will just see what I can do during that day. You know, I cook, I clean, I do laundry, not consistently, but it is what it is. That's one nice thing about being a trucker wife is my husband's gone, so he doesn't have to live in the constant chaos that is our life. Once the house is done, the chaos will be a lot more just normal. But right now it's a lot, and it's not easy to live in. It's not the worst, you know, but construction is construction, and if you remodel a home, you get what I mean. Anyways, so I do what I can that day, and that's basically what it is. I don't really have like a schedule. I do what I can, and I sometimes I literally just have to do things 10 minutes at a time. You know, I just do the best I can, and if I can't do anything that day, I listen to my body, and that's one thing that's really hard is when you have a disability and you're used to being productive and active and charging the world and doing everything that whatever you wanted within reason. I've always had within reason because I've had ankylosing spondylitis for like a decade. And so, you know, that was limiting. But I still just pushed through it and just deal with it because I had a really good example. My grandpa had polio as a kid, post-polio as an adult. And post-polio, we'll have a different topic for post-polio because that's a whole different thing. But he was on crutches my entire life, and he worked hard and he traveled, and an amazing, amazing man, and he never stopped himself. Like, you know, he would take his down days, obviously, because he physically couldn't do anything more. He was so kind and sweet to everybody around him, and he would literally give you the shirt off his back. I've literally seen him do it. You know, when they go travel around the world, at least 1.5 times, they'd go to like these, they would not do the touristy traveling stuff. They would like actually go into like the slums and like actual like real culture, and not saying all culture slums, came out wrong. Anyways, like the real people, and then he would go buy stuff from them to help support them, and he was just amazing. And I had that example. You can be disabled, but you can still be able. You can still do things. It'll be okay. Your world's and that's like one issue I have with this like disability community. A lot of people are just whiny. I'm on these MS groups and oh my gosh, this guy, he lost an eyelash. Is that MS related? No, that's freaking being human. It's human. That's human. Everyone loses eyelashes. And plus, that's not even connected to the MS. that can be connected to your Tysabri or your medication you're taking. For example, my hair, I'll show you guys. I have really bad thyroid, which I'm taking medication for. But my hair, I spoiled the crap out of it, and it's dry, and this has oil on it. Look how ratty it is, and I just trimmed it too. But my Tysabri is literally breaking my hair. I think I found a product I'm going to be trying when I get the money for it. It's called Monat. It's Monat. If you're interested, let me know. I can give you a really good person to get it from, and I can give you a ton of like information and resources. I can't wait to personally try it because my hair is just absolutely horrific, and I despise it with like all my being. Hold on, I need to bring my dogs inside. Come here. This might be a challenge. Hey, come here, Olive. Leonard. Hey, hey, hey. Come here. Where's Leonard at? Alice. Hey, where's your... I'll be back.